Hi, everybody. This is Shefali Chopra, your storyteller. Well, I'm sure by now you would have realized we are on the last episode, almost last episode for the year 2023, my dear. 2023. It's time to say bye to 23. And of course, we are welcoming the 24 with all our hearts open and our arms are, of course, open. I today welcome here with a very, very special guest with me here, Kumudini. Kumudini, I welcome you here. She's a very special person. I think, she's probably the youngest person I've ever interviewed so far. I'm very impressed with this little girl. I'm going to say little girl because she is little. And such a pretty girl. She and I, we kind of are gelling. She's wearing a beautiful red, and I'm wearing a headgear which is red. So here we start. I welcome you, Kumudini, on this
Thank you
show.
so much. Thank you
Yes,
so much. I'm already, impressed by the little girl title.
I am so happy to have you. I know you had to make adjustment. She's a very busy girl, I must tell you. What is interesting, my dear friends, ये पहली बार सुना होगा आपने. हो सकता है कईयों ने सुना हो, कईयों ने नहीं सुना हो. She is a art educator and she is into creative journaling. How beautiful. अब थोड़ी ही देर में ये हमें समझाएंगी कि ये होता क्या है. जहां तक मैं समझती हूँ, journaling is something which is creative. It gives you a stress free life. It lets you express. It lets you be who you are. जो हम आजकल के दौर में भूल चुके हैं कि हम एक्चुअली है क्या. भाग रहे हैं, भाग रहे हैं, भाग रहे हैं, भाग रहे हैं. स्लो डाउन हो जाओ, सांस लो एंड अपने बारे में सोचो. And I think it's a beautiful process to end this beautiful year in such a beautiful fashion with Kumudini. Kumudini, the floor is all yours. I really want to know what came to your mind that you wanted to do creative journaling.
So, as such, first thing you have literally summed it up really well. It helps you slow down, it helps you realize things, it helps you self reflect. So, of course, journaling is a tool to do that, but journaling is not just that, right? So, as such, if I, have to even define it, so journaling is basically diary writing, right? I mean, everyone has that at once in their childhood tried to write their diaries. Ki, dear diary, this is what happened, this is what this person said to me, this is what I'm planning to do, and so on and so forth. That's what journaling is, right? However, when it comes to creative journaling, you add some kind of creative touch to your journals. So basically, you could be doodling, you could be sketching, you could be painting, you could be sticking something, you can be cutting or pasting, and that becomes creative journaling. So for me, I mean, I never decided on starting this thing. I never thought, ki, theek hai, I'll make a business that revolves around creative journaling. It actually keeps happening to me. It happened to me, or at least that's how I like to put it up. So I was working in a corporate and I was seeing these posts somehow on Pinterest and Instagram. This was quite in vogue back then. This was in 2018. And then I would figure out, people are pasting stickers, they have such nice supplies, all the nice craft materials, and I'd be like, यार मुझसे नहीं होगा, ये तो है ही नहीं, इंडिया में ये सब मिलता ही नहीं है, राइट? तो ये नहीं हो सकता. बट आई वुड ऑलवेज फील दिस पुल की, but it's so beautiful, I really want to do it. So one of my colleagues, she pushed me, whatever you have, at least start with that ना, just see क्या होता है, फिर देख लेंगे आगे, मंगवा लेंगे हम बाहर से कहीं से ना. I have my friends and cousins and I was like, ठीक है, fine, nothing like it. So I had some wedding invitations, I had some newspapers, I had a journal already with me, and I just randomly started cutting and pasting stuff. I kept doing it for some time. Then another friend in another job, she pushed me, I would want to learn this, how do you even do it? So I thought, okay, let's just do a workshop about it. So this was just before lockdown. So I did this, I think in March 2020 or something. I don't remember the exact dates, but I put up this ad. Two people turned up, and another was this colleague. And she did it for an hour. I explained things. And after 1 hour, she looks up and she's like, I can do this for my whole life. And she was literally that one person who is so fuzzy about things, ये ऐसा क्यों नहीं है, very particular also and very perfectionist for that matter. So I was like, ठीक है, if she is saying something like this, that means more people would want to do something like this. And but again, the lockdown happened, and then I had some kits. I had around 10 kits made for this particular workshop, and I was like, at least 10 log to aa hi jayenge. But then only two turned up. So then I was like, what do I do with these kids? Because the lockdown had also happened. I had to come back, I had to shift everything to my home. And then of course space was an issue, so I just put up on my story randomly, if anyone wants these kits, I have spare and you can just contact me. All the kits got sold out. There were people who texted me, we would want more if you can curate something. I curated more, they got sold, and the selling business started from there. Then the workshop business also started, not, I wouldn't say business, but it was something that I really wanted to do because I wanted to, reach out to people. I wanted them to learn this art. And I mean, rest is all history. It just kept going, it kept flowing from there onwards.
Kumudini, you have so much on your shoulders by now. You have almost like 2,500 workshops that you have done, and more than I don't know how many students you have trained. I think it's very interesting. Day by day, people are interested in something creative and they're spending time. Uh, do you think it creates a very different kind of impact on people when we push them into this direction?
It does. As such, it's 2,500 students and almost 300 workshops. But believe me, I mean, I am someone who is more on the reflection side. So you should know what kind of a person you are, what values do you stick by, whether you are hurting someone or not, or if someone's actions are hurting you or not, where do you draw the boundaries and stuff. So the thing is, so there are these journaling clubs that I host where we meet thrice every week, half an hour, and we discuss things, we create things together. And the impact that I have seen with people, I mean, we keep interacting. And there was this one time I was having this offline workshop, and three of my club participants happened to be in that workshop. And they were like, every time there is something wrong going on in my life, I find my way back to the club. Then there are people who are in my club from the last 6 months. It has so happened there, in only yesterday the club ended for the December batch, and one of the ladies, she said, Kathy, it's been a long time, I have been here since April, because I just went and checked, and I can't believe it has been such a big journey. So people have found their brighter side, they have founded a positive meaning to life. Then what happens is, when you connect to people, you also feel, I am not alone in this happens with everyone. Someone would say something and you'll feel like, oh, ye to matlab, this is me. And then we go on chatting about it, and we feel that connection. And plus you have this art, you have this craft which you can just be lost in. So it's good to have that kind of a tool. It's good to know you can rely on something like that.
I personally feel what you're doing is, of course, beautiful. But what thought comes to my mind while speaking to you is that you are a connector. You are connecting people through these connective workshops, which are creative, and they let people express themselves. आजकल पता है क्या हो गया कुमुदिनी, that लोग अपना expression करना भूल गए. क्या एक्सप्रेस करना उन्हें नहीं पता, बिकॉज एवरीथिंग इज सो फिल्टर्ड. हर चीज इज फिल्टर्ड, फोटोज फिल्टर्ड हैं, एक्सप्रेशंस फिल्टर्ड हैं, क्या बोलना है क्या नहीं बोलना, आई हैव टू साउंड गुड. It's become so unreal that a lot of times people don't even realize how unreal they can be. So
That's
I
the
think
whole
these
thing.
are, yeah, so when you're doing stuff like this, I think you are really improving lives of so many people. You are touching lives of so many people without even realizing that. That is the beauty of it. But
So
another thing that I wanted to ask you, Kumudini, that you're also an art educator. Yeah. And I want to know, what does an art educator do?
So, as such, if I go by the literal meaning, art educator is anyone who teaches art, right? And this art can be anything. Everyone has their own, genre to work on. Some teach painting, some teach acrylic painting, some would go for gouache, someone would go for sketching, someone would go for lettering or calligraphy for that matter. I teach creative journaling. So, creative journaling, as I simply put, is adding some kind of creativity to your journals. But there are different forms of journaling. Creative journaling per se, that is art journaling, junk journaling, bullet journaling, travel journaling. So it's more like, once you know the techniques, you are able to put better things out on the paper. As such, I never tell my students, whatever you're doing is good or bad. It's just that when you're making something that you personally like, you just feel like making more of it. So I teach them those tips and tricks that will help them make their journals look better, that will help them easily make something. Because a lot of people, what they do is they start creative journaling and then they get overwhelmed ki mujhse nahi ho raha hai, and then they leave it halfway through. But once you have the tools, once you know how to get started, how to make your journals look better, you feel motivated to just keep going. So that's what I facilitate, that's what I teach people.
I think it's a beautiful art, and I think many more people should learn, especially at schools, especially when children need to express. आजकल कई बार बच्चे भी अंदर जो होता है वो बाहर निकालना नहीं जानते. I think it's a great thing that we are also tech savvy, and there's so much happening around the world. But I think this art of journaling takes you back to, as you said earlier, it takes us to back to diary writing, which people have forgotten completely about.
Plus, more than just diary writing, what I always focus on is finding yourself and reflecting on what you are doing. Like in the clubs, we take up questions like, how do you cultivate confidence? What are some certain negative beliefs that you hold about yourself? And how do work on them? How do you convert them into positive and then, move forward with it? And with kids, I mean, surprisingly, a lot of kids have gotten interested into creative journaling. So they always keep doing things. But I guess you're very right when you say kids need to be taught more to reflect what they are, how they are, and who they are. Because once you make, they are the ones who are going to become humans, who are going to be kind to people or not be kind to them. So once you cultivate that kindness right from when they are just learning to grow, it's much 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 better. Plus, I mean, journaling helps you in that way. It helps you do that gratitude journaling. It helps you with affirmations. It helps you make a plan of things. So yeah, it's a good way to start.
You have done so many workshops. I really want to know that one compliment that you thought ki hai mere dil ko chhu gaya.
Oh my God, it's so difficult to, say that. But, I know for a fact, when people just, text me back, or there was this one time, a girl, she attended my 3 day course. And after that, she wrote such a big, huge, WhatsApp message. I'm a sucker for, big texts. So, and then she wrote things like, I'm so touched by not just what you taught. It has obviously, made my journaling experience very easy. And I look forward to doing it every day. But who you are also inspires me. Someone would say, abhi recently I did this offline workshop, and this girl said, I'm really inspired by how happily you teach, or how excited you are when you teach, or how you easily simplify things. So I mean, compliments always are welcome, but these things is just validate ki theek I'm on the right path and I really want to continue this way.
I think you're very passionate about it, and I can see that in your body language, in your smile. When you talk about this particular form of art, it just lights you up. It just lights you up completely. And what do you think is the future of this kind of art?
See, I am someone who sort of, mostly lives in the present. And if you ask me what I'm doing next week, I'll not know. So to predict something is totally out of my field. And I would just, take it one day at a time. But yes, the passion definitely is there, and the happiness definitely is there right now. Even if, things change, even if it's not something that's flourishing, or it's not, making me meet at the ends. I don't know. I mean, I'll see when it comes.
Well, what's on the cards? What's the new, the new programs that's coming up or our line you'd like to share with us?
So, as such, I'm more focused on doing more offline workshops in more cities now. So, till now I've been doing it in Delhi. Recently, I did it in Indore as well. So, I'm trying to reach more cities that way. So, let's hope for that. Plus, products, obviously, a lot is on the cards, but like I said, I'm not a planning person. So, for now, products are main focus. The offline workshops are a main focus, and as things flow by, we'll see. Clubs ka also, there is one more thing that I'm planning to do. So right now what happens is we have a morning club and an evening club. So it's 7 to 7:30 a.m. and 7 to 7:30 p.m. But obviously, a lot of people are not able to meet both the times. For in either the morning one is working for them, neither the evening one. So I'm planning to do something of a virtual thing where they can create on their own, they can reflect on their own, but then we meet once in a week, maybe on a weekend or a Sunday or something, so that we can discuss our perspective there. But again, that will need a lot of planning. So it's still something that in the planning stages.
Um, Anything that comes to your mind which you want to, like a message for the children out there? Because
Something
you
that
yourself are quite inspiring, and you are inspiring and touching lives of people. So, any message that you feel children should look in this direction?
look in this direction, I would say one thing, that I have always been this one kid who could never, learn the same thing. I mean, every year, my mother knew she had to find out a new class because I would get bored. However, with journaling, it's been 5 years, I still haven't gotten bored because there is always something new to explore. So, if it is something that actually feels ki you would want to take up, go for it. And don't compare what you are doing with anyone else. Your major focus has to be, is it making you happy or not? In fact, not just journaling, anything that you do, your major focus has to be, is it making me happy or not? And everything else will just follow. So that's something that I would definitely want to stress on.
Yes, I personally feel that we all need to explore ourselves first. And once we spend that kind of time with our own self, we are able to realize what we really want to do. And जब लोग कहते हैं अरे मैं काम करके थक गया हूँ, बोर हो गया हूँ, मैं स्ट्रेस में आ गया हूँ, जब ऐसी सब बातें करते हैं, मतलब it's a signal that somewhere your own your own inner self is telling you that this is not really meant for you. People ignore these signals, so when they start doing things that they like or they love, I think they enjoy it, and that becomes an extension of their personality. And then उसमें तो कोई काम ही नहीं है, कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है, क्योंकि आप खुशी खुशी घंटों घंटों बैठ सकते हैं. If I'm not mistaken, uh, you know, I'm sure, Kumudini, that lot of time has to be given to journaling.
No, not at all. I mean, so in my clubs, we, like I told you, we just do it for, half an hour, right? So 15 minutes is when we do the creative part, that is when we create art, and 15 minutes when we write. And believe me, there is not more time than you would need.
So it's
I
very
mean,
doable.
very doable. I mean, I'll tell you, when even in the offline workshop, this is something I stress on. So we do an activity which lasts only for 10 minutes, where in
Okay.
3 to 5 minutes, I'm briefing them what to do, and in 5 minutes, they get to do what they are doing. Just 5 minutes, and you get the whole art spread ready.
So
So,
it
I mean, the
can be done
one
by
good,
anyone.
pardon?
I said it can be done by anyone.
By anyone. I mean, you don't even have to be an artist. You don't even have to look at the fact ki, can I paint well? Do I know how to hold a paintbrush? There is nothing like that. And the best part is there is no right or wrong. So at no point can anyone tell you that you have done this right or you have done this wrong. All you have to do is pick up a few things that you have. I'm not even asking you to go and buy things, because when I started, all I have were wedding invitations and newspapers. Piece them together, paste them, and you are done. Trust me, all the initial spreads that I made, the art journal spreads that I made, I don't care whether they look good or not, but when I was making them, I was so happy, and no matter what the outcome is, you always like it. It's like a magical thing, and no one should miss out on it. No one should miss out on it.
Uh, you remember when we spoke for the first time and I asked you, you have a beautiful name. What does Kumudini mean? I would want you to tell people what your name means.
It means water lily. And I always, I mean, I have come to this point where anything water lily, just, my phone cover also has a water lily on it. So whatever
Oh,
it is, I just keep all
wow.
everything surrounded it.
How sweet. मैं मगर एक बात सबको बताना चाहूंगी. She's so soft. She's so, you know, cute. And she's doing such great stuff. But देखो, एकदम वो बातों पे मत जाना. बच के रहना. पूछो क्यों? इसलिए because she's also All India NCC Cadet of 2015, Ambassador of India to Sri Lanka in NCC Youth Exchange Program in 2015. So she's quite a thing. Please share that little thing about us with us about that time.
So NCC was the most beautiful time of my life, and so there is this competition called All India Best Cadet, where so it happens every year in Delhi, where cadets from all over the country. So there are 17 directorates in the country, and one representative of the contingent or the directorate comes forward, and then we have various competitions. So there are speeches, there are group discussions, there are interviews, there is firing, there is drill, then there is all the extracurricular activities that you're participating in, whether you're marching on Rajpath or not. So there are points for everything. And I went to, so this happens in a Republic Day camp which goes on for 1 month in January. It's going to start now, and I'm sort of very excited for it. Somehow, just you just feel connected. So I went to this RDC, that is Republic Day camp, as a junior wing cadet as well in class 9. And again, I was fighting in the same competition, and my rank was 7th that time. Since then, I just had it in mind ki I just want to be this All India Best Cadet. How could I not win it? And obviously, my confidence was very low when I was this in a ninth class student. Until since then, I had just been preparing, reading newspapers, working on my physical appearance, working on my physical fitness as well, and just looking at the attitude and everything. So then I took up NCC again in college, and I went again to the same camp. There are a lot of camps that happen before almost. We start from preparing from August onwards. So again, competitions from there, you get shortlisted, you compete people to. So again, there are groups, again representative of groups. Then you fight with them, and the whole competition goes on. And then you are adjudged. Okay, you will represent our directorate at this level. So this time when I went in 2015, it was for me. I mean, for the first time ever, I mean, this is something a lesson that I've drawn from that particular competition, which is I was never aiming to be the All India Best Cadet. Of course, it started from there, but all my focus used to be on I have to give this exam very well. I have to do the firing well. I have to do the drill well. I have to do the group discussion well. So I was just focusing on the present thing, and everything just fell into place. And then I was adjudged as the All India Best Cadet. And I don't know it for me, it was not even this one moment where I felt, wow, what happened? I felt so much at peace. I just knew this had to happen because I was sleeping for 2 to 3 hours every day by, doing everything that was required of me. And if this was something that I wouldn't have gotten, it wouldn't have been, or getting this was no surprise, so to say.
Wow, you're quite an achiever, a young achiever, and I really wish you many more successes
Thank
in
you
this
so much.
coming year. And sometime back, in fact, I must tell you, people who are watching us or who will watch us later, that I wanted to also attend one of her workshops. And she also does online workshops and she also does offline. So, whatever you're interested, please get in touch with Kumudini. And I think it's a great way of self expression. It lets you experience something that you probably have never experienced. हम लोग वॉक के लिए चले जाते हैं. ऑफ कोर्स हर इंसान का अपना तरीका होता है टू अनवाइंड, बट दिस इज अ वेरी ब्यूटिफुल वे टू अनवाइंड बाय योर सेल्फ. हम लोग किसी हद तक अकेला रहना भी भूल गए हैं. कुछ मोमेंट्स हम सबको अपने लिए चाहिए होते हैं, whether we like it or not. It doesn't have to be in front of the TV. It doesn't have to be with the dog. It doesn't have to be out doing something. It can be just being at home with a cup of a tea or coffee or something that you like to drink. Minus popcorn or popcorn depends. मैं तो भी वो creative और festive mood में हूँ, so I can think all these things. So, but spend that time penning down things, and believe me, when you will read them later, you will feel, अच्छा, कभी मैंने ऐसे भी सोचा था. एंड बहुत सारी चीज़ें आप जब पढ़ते हो, आपको एहसास होता है आपकी ज़िंदगी कितनी खूबसूरत है. हम कई बार कहते हैं, ओ माय गॉड, व्हाट इज़ हैपनिंग इन माय लाइफ. बट कुछ पन्ने पलट के जब आप पढ़ेंगे और देखेंगे कि अरे, उस दिन कितना खूबसूरत था. सो हर इंसान की ज़िंदगी में, हर दिन में, इफ़ यू आस्क मी, कोई ना कोई ब्यूटीफुल मोमेंट होता ही है. सो वो ब्यूटीफुल मोमेंट्स पढ़ के, बार-बार पढ़ के, it's like आप अपना पॉजिटिव काउंट बढ़ा रहे हैं. So I think it's a beautiful thing that we can pick it up, and please do. And thank you so much, Kumudini, for coming and speaking to me about this beautiful art that you're doing. God bless you. Keep going. I wish you tremendous success in coming 2024. And my dear friends, I wish you all stupendous success for this coming year. And success does not mean only money. It also means in virtue of relationships, in virtue of in health, in more smiles, less stress, beautiful life. I think that, and of course, journaling. So
That is beautiful.
goodbye, everybody, and bye,
Thank you.
Kumudini. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much
much.
for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank
Till we
you.
meet again. अब तो अगले साल ही
Yeah,
मिलेंगे. हाँ.
done thing. Sounds like a plan.
Yes.
Bye.